Chancellor Wenner, Chairman Hebert, President and Vice Chancellor Shepard, Dr. Turkle, distinguished guests and participants, fellow students, families and friends, I am really so honored to address you today on behalf of the graduating students. Il me serait impossible de représenter la diversité d'expériences qui se trouvent dans cette assemblée aujourd'hui. Je vais donc partager avec vous un peu de mon propre cheminement, en espérant être une source d'inspiration et en vous encourageant à partager vos propres réflexions avec votre famille et vos amis. 17 years ago, I took a year off high school in the face of my mother's question, but what if you take a year off and then never go to university? And to be honest, I thought I never might. After struggling for years with mental health issues, I created a successful business and a career by my late 20s, all without a degree. However, I always felt like I was missing something, although I couldn't have told you what it was at the time. During a career change, a mentor said to me, "Why don't you go to university as a reward for everything you've worked through?" So I took a leap. I left everything I knew and I landed here in this magnificent city of Montreal at this wonderful school, Concordia. And it has indeed been a rewarding experience. I have witnessed from tenured and part-time faculty alike a commitment to teaching beyond my expectations. I would like to give a special shout out to Virginia Nixon, who passed away this year. She was a part-time faculty who gave full-time dedication to her students, opening our eyes to the wonders of art and challenging us to be excellent scholars. At the Liberal Arts College, I found community with a lovable group of quirky overthinkers. And I'm not only talking about my fellow students and our professors, but also the authors of the great books of our curriculum. I got to hang out with amazing minds who, over the course of thousands of years, have been puzzling over the meaning of existence and how to live together in society. In reading the texts of the past, I feel like I have gained a greater awareness of my present. And it's this awareness that I didn't even know I was missing before coming to Concordia. Art, music, architecture, politics, media, and even my own personal relationships all began to open up to me as I studied how we create the narratives of our lives. As Soren Kierkegaard has said, a curriculum is what one runs through to catch up to oneself. I caught up to myself at Concordia. And in doing so, I feel like I belong more to the world. The importance of belonging became really clear for me when we read Charles Darwin in second year. He captured my heart when he pointed out that we are social animals, like wired in our flesh to belong to each other, somewhat complicated by our capacity for language. This made me realize that while we are destined to argue and disagree, at the root of all of our conflict, we are really trying to sort out how to best live with one another on a tiny rock hurtling through space. And not only are we wired to belong to each other, we are absolutely dependent on one another. While each of us worked really hard for this degree, we were enabled to do so based on a number of causes and conditions that we did not work for at all, such as our inherent mental faculties and our temperaments, support from our families or the government, living in a relatively politically stable environment, just to name a few. Our education was also supported by so many strangers, those that built and maintained our school buildings, those that fed and caffeinated us at the local cafes, those that plowed the snowy streets in the winter so we could get to class. Again, just to name a few. With this web of support in mind, I suggest that when we put our education to use and reap the rewards of whatever advantages it may give us, we think not only of ourselves, but of how we may benefit the community at large. Whatever your next step may be, I invite you not to ask what will make me happy, but rather, given my abilities, talents, and resources, how can I best serve the world? But before we jump any further into the future, let's revel in the present. This is a really momentous and awesome occasion. With all of the support that we had, we also personally and individually worked really hard and long to get here. So let's pause. Just take a moment to notice yourself sitting in the room here today with all of your peers, and let the gravity of this moment come over you. And if your parents or professors or friends, connect to the joy that you feel in the achievement of these graduates. And grads, let's get specific. What do you feel really proud of? It could have been a particular project that you completed, or maybe you started a group or joined one, or maybe it was an interpersonal achievement. And maybe if you're like me, when you start to think about what you did well, those little self-critical voices start to arise, and they also point out how you could have done it better. And maybe they're reminding you of something that you tried and then failed at. So let's include that too. Include the failures. Because you know what? The ways that you fail are intrinsically connected to the ways that you rock. It took a good mix of failures and successes to get us here in this place, in this moment today. And as a 38-year-old graduating alongside you, I can tell you that the road ahead is not a linear path of ascending successes. It is winding and it is weird. It is filled with both joy and sadness, triumph and failure, and a whole lot of surprises. And so it's important to come together at moments like today and give thanks to everyone who helped us along the way, to commit to paying it forward with the work of our lives, and to revel and celebrate in these peak moments of success. So merci. Thank you for letting me speak on your behalf today. I'm so pleased to share this day with you. I wish you joy, luck, and the kind of heartache that comes from a life well lived. May you keep succeeding, failing, and reveling. Thank you.
Meaghan Johnson, thank you for your courage, for your commitment to this institution, and we are grateful for your heartfelt remarks. Thank you.